family and friends. I thought I would use today's video as a constructive way to talk about, from a therapist point of view, what we look at when we come into a home or a daycare to work with your child. And I think in doing this new program from a teletherapy standpoint or from consultation, that it does make you look at how you do things differently and what this model will look like if we do teletherapy in your home. And we don't want the expectation to be where you have to sit with a bag of toys and do therapy while we're looking over your shoulder. This is more about a coaching model, so you go about your day and we will provide opportunity for instruction or to answer questions and to guide you through this process. So if there are any questions or ways that we can assist you, that is really the benefit of teletherapy and how it's supposed to work. So what I want to do is kind of show you some different ideas. So things that we would talk about if we're watching you and we're doing a conference together via phone and computer, that when we're thinking about ways in we're helping your child with child development, if we're looking at a book, we're constantly thinking about, is the child looking? Where's their interest? So if I open up the book, where do their eyes go? Do they show more interest in certain colors? Are there certain objects that they're interested in? So for example, if we're looking at this page and we're looking at a rocket, even though a child may not know what that is, if we look at this book enough, that we'll have the opportunity to label it rocket ship. And then we can describe what it does. It goes up, up, up. You can begin to identify what this is with other objects that they're maybe more familiar with. So when you see an airplane or a helicopter and you're outside, you can talk about, oh, remember the rocket in our book? That's an airplane. It goes up, up, up too. You can talk about flowers and how you see them outside. You can describe the color and that these are the same, but they're different colors. And you can smell flowers. Make sure you incorporate your other senses too. So you can see them, you can smell them. Then you can talk about the buckets. There's 1, 2, 3 buckets. What do we put in our buckets? Maybe you've had your buckets in the sand pile, so you can talk about that. Maybe you have filled them up with water and some soap and a brush and you scrub down some rocks. Many different ideas. The zebras are black and white. Maybe you've made a trip to the zoo, so you can correlate seeing this with somewhere that you've been and a trip that you've taken. Now, of course, I love this page because ice cream is one of my all-time favorite things, but you can talk about how these are the same and these are different. You can talk about these being pink and these are white. And we eat ice cream and then describe it so they can almost feel like they're tasting it. It's burr, it's cold. Use a sign to go with it as well in case they don't have the word in their vocabulary. Eat. Simplify this as much as possible. The less words that we use to describe something, but then have repetition of that, the more they're able to remember and comprehend and use it appropriately and independently. Bike. Ooh, so maybe you can talk about when you play outside and that you love to ride bikes and that you can go, 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 go. Then you can talk about going fast or going slow. Notice the change in my voice. So if I'm making something fast, the expression is different. The way that I say it is different. Or slow. A lot of it is what we call inflection or intonation. It is the change in our voice, in our sound, and also make it very aware when you're talking about something that your facial expression also changes. Notice I use my hands a lot and I gesture. It cues kids in to watch to see where that's coming from. So when you're using your hands and you're signing things, your hands are a lot of times up here, makes kids look up, look at your face. They want to see the words, they want to hear the words, and then hopefully imitate the words. So then another thing too, let's say this picture has a picture of a hat on it. You can talk about the hats and you get all excited. Where do hats go? Instead of just talking about what it is and labeling it, talk about, use a WH word. Where does hat go? Where's hat go? Hat goes on your head. Give them time to answer the question, and then if they don't answer the question or that is difficult for them, point to where it goes, talk about a hat, label the part of the body that it goes on, and to even add another layer to this, have a hat readily available, knowing that this picture's in the book. Put a hat on. Mommy put her hat on. Mommy has hat on her head. Where's your hat? Then you can use that also as a receptive question to them. Where's your hat? Go find your hat. See if they can find one and come back with a hat on their head. Tigers, you can talk about how all these tigers look the same. You can count them. You can talk about stripes or that they all have red noses. You can talk about the boats. Maybe your kids have pretend little play boats that they use in the bathtub. You can make a sound toot toot. You can talk about how boats are in the bathtub or that you can see boats on the water. So if you get to experience seeing a boat anytime at the lake, or if you go somewhere and see a boat, you can talk about that. And clocks. Make a sound. Clocks go tick tock, tick tock. Many of us don't have a lot of clocks in our house anymore, but they still need to know what they are, and you can talk about clocks. Let us know when we need to get up, when we go to bed, when we're going to have lunch. And then you can show them on your watch that that is also a clock. Helps you to know what time it is. You can always say the end at the end of a book so a child knows that's the end, and they can also start to use that word when they're finished with an activity.